Welcome to She Says with your host, Stephanie Regalado. She Says guests share stories from their challenges to successes and, most importantly, the journey of womanhood woven alongside the collaboration of sisterhood. From self, love, friends and family, to hot topics, career, and world views, Stephanie and her guests discuss matters with utmost openness and honesty. So let's hear what she says. Here's Stephanie.
Hello, welcome to She Says. I'm Stephanie Regalado with my guest Cindy Donahue. Hi.
Hi.
You traveled far to come here today.
I did, across the whole street.
Right. Because you are now membership director of the Spokane Club and have been for how long now?
About a year and a half.
A year and a half. What led you to be membership director?
So I'd been at the club when I moved here from San Francisco as a stay-at-home mom. And then when I wanted to go back to work, I thought, oh, I'll do something I enjoy. So I started teaching yoga and doing training. So I'd been there for 8 years.
Okay.
And then when this role became available at the same time that Kemper Sports, which is our new management company, came in, I thought it's an opportunity to help really direct where we're going and to let everyone know what we have going on.
Were there any reservations in you whatsoever to step up to be considered for that role?
Not to be considered. My only hesitation was with my daughter, making sure that I wasn't away from her and that, she had the time she needed from mom, too.
How has that gone?
Great. Now she's 11. She's a tween.
She's a big girl now.
Yeah, she's easy. Yeah.
And amazing things are happening over at the Spokane Club.
Yes.
I don't know if there was a dip or what the membership journey has looked like for the club.
So
it
over
feels like
time,
there's been
what happened, in private clubs in general, any membership club, there's been a dip over time because everyone's busy, everyone comes and goes, they don't stay like people used to. It's not your grandfather's club where you stay and you have but we do have members that have been there for 50 plus years as well. But there was a little bit of a dip just in terms of turnover and change and trying to reestablish who we are. And so I felt like my job is letting people know who we are, because I think the image that people have of Spokane Club is so different from when you're inside, and there's such a sense of community. So
yeah, I know. I'd love to just share a little bit what that looks like, what you feel people thought it is or think it is, and what the reality is.
When I went to a networking meeting for young professionals, I had someone say, well, isn't that where old men smoke cigars? And I love that.
That's really outdated thought. But
right, because it's this beautiful historic facade, and that's what people think it is.
Yeah.
And so, but that's not who we are. And so I laughed, and I thought, well, I have a lot of work to do.
And no one can smoke indoors anymore.
That's right. But we have, we have Booty Bar. We have yoga, candlelight yoga and wine classes. We have tennis in the Valley. We've got basketball, great basketball program, and kids programs, and a restaurant, and Biz Connect networking. There's so many things going on at the same time in such a small space. So,
who are your ideal members?
Everyone.
I
have friends.
Paint a picture of,
I have friends now at the club that are literally, just born, all the way to my friend Hope, who's 89. But we have, I'd say ideal members would be families, because we have such a great childcare program. One of the things I did when I started was bring a 2-hour free childcare program in.
Oh, wow.
Because I think when you have a family, you want your kids to be cared for. You want kids camps while you go work out or go have a drink in the bar or whatever it is. So it's nice to have that opportunity for families.
And that was one of the biggest challenges for our family when the kids were little, is going anywhere and having to find something to do with the little ones when they weren't old enough to go into the gym or do something else by themselves. And so that was always a challenge.
Yeah, we have such a great program. We have the childcare program, and we have a swim team. We have tracks for kids. We have a junior training program actually for, kids 13 to 16 who really aren't officially old enough to go on their own, but they go through a program with a trainer and they get a certificate, and it's really empowering for them as well. We also have kids plunge parties where we play a movie, a dive-in movie. So they swim. Last time we had 65 kids. So they have a dive-in movie and pizza. Parents drop them off at 5:30. They go have their date, do what they want, come back. Everyone's happy and exhausted. And
yes, that's perfect.
Yeah, the plunge parties are my favorite for my daughter.
So is the movie playing inside the pool
Inside the pool, yes. We have this huge indoor pool, and there's this huge party going on for the kids, and the parents get to have their night out.
What is the age range for that one?
5 to about 13.
Okay. Oh, my gosh, I love that.
It's very fun, yes.
What about the price point? I know that for some families over time who would want to consider it, I know personally it was when they were considering different options, it was on the higher side. What is that?
I would definitely say
now?
I definitely say we're on the higher side. I always joke and say, but we have white fluffy towels for you when you shower and shampoo. But it is definitely on the higher. I think we've been playing with the initiation because for a lot of people that was the big straddle to get over. And so we have promotions. Like right now we have a spring promotion happening where you can join for $99 and then you have the monthly rate.
What was the regular
for
initiation fee?
$450.
Oh, that
yeah,
is a big...
so it's a big difference.
Yes.
And I think for depending on the age, because memberships actually start at $96, so it's not that high, but then they go up to family, so it's this range.
Right.
I had a couple in their 20s come this week, and they said, that's all? And so it's funny, it just depends on what you're already doing or what memberships you already have.
Exactly. One thing I have loved about it anytime I've been inside it, it is a place where there's many things to do. It's not some place you're just going to go hop on the treadmill and pump some weights and leave.
Right.
With the restaurant, especially how family friendly it has all become. And I've always thought of it as, I was a nanny when my family were members there. So I remember one winter their furnace went out, so we lived at the Spokane Club for almost 2 weeks.
When we had the windstorm, people were really,
that
you
was
really
when
felt,
it was.
and you really felt that sense of community, like everyone had a place to go, and that's what I love about the club. So it's the people in it that make it special to me.
Yes.
I mean, you can go anywhere for a gym, but you can't, like for me, in one afternoon, I can go and walk through the restaurant and see my wine guys that are there every day at 4 o'clock. I can go over to the gym and see people playing basketball. We have elite basketball. I can go down to the pool and see the swim team. I mean, there's so many things going on all the time. Yeah.
And one thing that I think I've loved seeing, it feels like to me, from an outsider's perspective, that sometimes you wonder what a place has to offer you. But in a place like the Spokane Club, you can really ask yourself what you can offer as well to become plugged into the community. And it's not something you're going to be like almost an entertainment or what they can do for you, but you can actually become part of
something. Yeah, I mean, that's really the point. And I tell people that all the time. Anyone can join a gym, but it's the friendships that are formed and the community that's formed. So I've really been focusing on reinvigorating that because we do have so many business owners and C-level executives and community. So I started the Biz Connect program where we have executive speakers, women's leadership series. So all these opportunities for women and people to come together, families.
What about the women's group?
So that's my favorite. So we have a lot of clubs in the club. We have Cellar Dwellers, it's our wine group. We have a bridge club, book club, everything you can think of. And there's Women's Leadership Group. And they were meeting in the morning. And so, and they had this big breakfast with Brooke Mattson from Spark Central. And I thought, well, there's something really here. You know, people want this. There's that need in our female community to come together and lift everyone up. So I made it a lunch, so it was more accessible. And we sold out our first one. So it's just a great opportunity to have interesting subjects to talk about and really network with each other.
And is that exclusively for club members or can anyone attend those?
Some of them I open up to guests. So members can always bring guests to things. So if someone was a cellar dweller and you wanted to go with them, you could go as a guest. And I am using some of those networking opportunities as a way for people to see what the club is, to walk in and see that it's a 47-room hotel and it's a restaurant and it's, you know, we have weddings and parties and exercise. It's just so much going on.
And the hotel underwent a renovation.
About half the rooms, and it's still happening. Yep, we just renovated the Nest, which is a nice suite. And so it is on Expedia, and we have hotel rooms people sometimes forget. But the members get a discounted rate. So if they have friends or family or colleagues come, they get a discounted rate.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I love the community. For me, that's kind of the point. It's being part of something where you feel that you give back, like you're saying, but also that you get your exercise, you get your social, you get business oriented. Anything you need, you can kind of make what you want of it.
Yeah. So you're also involved with a lot of other women's groups and movements within our city. What are some of your favorite?
Well, I love the with Leadership 360 luncheon series that's been going on, and I was excited to get to participate in the Women in Business Leadership with the magazine.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. I was very unexpected and very honored to be included. So that's been really great. But also just the connections with people that I meet over time, and just supporting each other and growing that network where we all, I think, lift each other up.
Important. You know, I'm super excited about the Women in Business Leadership Awards. First of all, it's in the March issue of Spokane Coeur Living, and March is Women's History Month. Also, March 8th is International Women's Day. So it's kind of this great bunch of energy, but and the resounding theme throughout all of the 50-plus nomination forms that came into me. There were over 90 nominations. And then I reached out to each of them for more information for one reason or another. 50 came back, and I love it because women are like, yeah, I'm not sure I'm ready for this yet. I still have some other work to do before I feel worthy.
Right.
I love how honest women can be about that sort of thing.
Fraud syndrome.
Yeah. There could be some of that. There could be some of, well, let's wait until I feel a little higher in my career. But was that women coming together, and I don't know if it was true or if it was just this folklore that women were in competition with each other,
right?
Or that women nitpicked at each other or did all sorts of, I can't even say the word.
Yeah.
Evil things.
Not nice things.
Not nice things. It's just all that. And for so long, women have been known
to be in competition.
And for having these underlying things or backstabbing or spreading or rumors or that sort of thing. But very mildly, I have not experienced that, and particularly as an adult.
Right.
And I have only been part, and I guess leaned into those parts, of women coming together to support one another, even if they're in the exact same somewhat competing industries.
Yeah, I think for me it was about learning to have friendships and more about giving. I think that that idea that we're in competition, it's like, well, if they have that, then I can't, right? And so if you turn that around and you think, well, if I give someone else, someone younger than me or someone that's coming into the community from outside, and I give them an opportunity to connect with people, and then it raises all of us up.
Absolutely.
And that's what this position for me, this role has done, is it gives me this position where I connect people together, because I'll meet someone who is just learning, and I'll know someone in that industry or someone that needs help with their charitable organization. Yeah. So just trying to connect people together.
Gosh, being a connector is one of my favorite things. Yes. So many people reach out and say, you seem to know a lot of people. Can you help me with this? I love it because then I know exactly who I can hook them up with most of the time, or someone to hook them up with.
Yes.
And it's such a good feeling to be able to connect people and to continue growing that true sense of what community is.
And that's what happens organically. So I have someone that was called a connector. I thought, I like that there's something to call that. I didn't know what to call the ability to talk to anyone and enjoy conversation. There's a name for it. It's connector. But for me, that's it. Business happens organically that way. Things happen because we're helping each other and connecting people together to make things happen, which is really what community is.
Well, and one of my gripes about like multi-level marketing, which is really relationship marketing.
Right.
I really wish more people could change their mindset to understand the relationship marketing side of what relationship and building relationship is, because I feel like right now the hot thing is skinny coffee.
Okay. I didn't know that, but good to know.
Oh, you didn't know? You were a lucky one then, because almost on a daily basis or every other day, I am being sent a private message. Hey friend, do you love caffeine? I've already tried the samples. Oh, which company? Who is your rep? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I can't do it anymore. And you don't know anything about me. I'm on a press deadline, or it's a Monday. Everything on a Monday is a no from me. But building a relationship is actually taking the time to get to know that person beforehand and not just thrusting. It's not just friending them on Facebook. And I've had this rule where I friend all women.
Right.
I mean, I accept friend requests from all women, but I do have a different filtering system for males, just out of self-preservation. But but now I'm starting to think I need to do that for everybody, because but I want to be open and grow that community, and I want to help women. I mean, their spirit is in the right place, and there's so many amazing opportunities in relationship network / relationship marketing, but that's one of the things I think that people aren't quite 100% grasping. And like you're saying, the organic side of it is truly building. It's going to a networking event and never leading with who you are, what you do.
Right.
It's being inquisitive about other people.
Asking the questions.
Being curious about other people, because you don't even know what you may offer can be entirely irrelevant to that person's life or space. I mean, yes, they may know people who know people it may work for, but it's truly about getting to know one another. And so I think that's really shifted in the business world.
For sure. And I've had, this position being membership director at the club has given me that opportunity. I've met incredible people that I've just gotten to know, and I'm curious, right? Toby, who runs the West Plains Chamber of Commerce, you know, and just think, wow, you're doing amazing things. I'd like to know more about what you're doing. And out of that, you never know, you might connect someone else that you help some cause, or you might help things in the city change. Right. It's an interesting and fun way to, instead of networking, like you said, connecting. Yeah. And I think that then, so I don't really think of myself as like the membership director that sells memberships, because people can buy whatever they want. My job is, you want to lose some weight? Sure, come to the club. Oh, you have a 2- and 4-year-old? You should come to the club because we have swim lessons. Yeah. It's just it's connecting need, and really getting to know amazing people that are moving here, have been here for years, and it's really a fun place to be.
Yes. Sure. Well, and you're the perfect person for that, because has anyone who's ever met you not liked you? I'm
sure they don't, but hopefully they hide it really well.
Do you have a And if they do, it's really more about them than it is about you anyway.
But you're right. I think when the more you ask questions of people, and I was talking about Andrea Parrish and the whole thing about questions, and that the more you're curious about other people and you get to know them, you see where you connect in relationship or in business or in any way.
Well, I think after you've been living your life for long enough, you understand that it's kind of boring to talk. You do this every day. I do my life in and out every single day. So that's really the last thing I want to talk about when I get together with people. I want to learn about other people's lives and what they do, and it's just so intriguing to me.
Well, that's why you're an amazing writer, right? That's why.
Well, listening is a very big role in storytelling. It's one of the first steps.
To really hear the story.
Yeah, you have to hear it in order to then share it.
Yeah, one of the things about teaching yoga for so long, and I've really tried to apply that idea of growing together, right? Growing roots and then growing together. And so I've tried to apply that philosophy to growing the club, to creating community. And now, I can apply that to anything in my life. And I think when you ask questions of people, you see where we already are connected. Absolutely. And I spend a lot of my time in yoga asking people to connect with themselves. So then I get to know them that way. Right. Which is nice and interesting.
Well, we need to take a quick break, but when we come back, I'd love to learn more about just a couple of the fundamental practices and theories of yoga, because I've heard so much how it applies brilliantly in all areas of our lives. So let's talk about that. Also want to know a little bit more about, you met the man of your dreams. And
I did, in Spokane, online.
What? Okay, we're definitely going to talk about that. We're going to hear a note from our sponsors, and we'll be right back after that.
This is River Ridge Frame Shop, called Frame It Today, where we can take your art, customize it, and get it ready to hang on the wall. Here at River Ridge Hardware, 2803 West Garland.
Welcome to a new kind of talk show, Spokane Talks, where you find news, views, and conversations that include respect for opinions, facts, and diversity.
Spokane Talks, Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Fox 28.
Hello there, Internet. My name is Brandon Magruder, and I'm just coming out of the Spokane Talks building, and I'm excited to bring to you guys a new announcement that I am going to be the new host of the Youth Spotlight program. Now, our old host, Colin, he's off to Texas Christian University to pursue a degree in theater and broadcasting, and you know what? That's great for him, but that's what I like to call adulting. And I don't think that we have time for adulting with the Youth Spotlight program. What the Youth Spotlight program is here to do is to bring to you guys news, the greatest news of some of the most amazing people here throughout Spokane that are, just going in high school, maybe about to go into college, These people are achieving life dreams, and they are so young. And I think that these are stories that you guys should know about. And I'm so excited to be bringing them to you. Now, I'm a Spokane native myself. I've been performing throughout Spokane in various different shows. I just closed the show of Music Man, and, I guess I like long walks on the beach, keeping my business attire, while also keeping my French fry socks on close at hand. It's going to be a great year, and I'm so excited to be your guys' host. So tune into Youth Spotlight to watch me interview some of the most amazing people. Thank you and have a great day.
Welcome back to She Says. I'm Stephanie Regalado with Cindy Donahue. We're talking about yoga principles. What would you say are two of the fundamental principles that anyone can adopt in any moment in their life?
In any moment, putting together your mind with your body. So if you're sitting in your car and you're thinking about something else, you're not being present in your body at that moment. So thinking, how am I sitting in my car, right? So yoking together your mind and your body. But one of the things I really like is in terms of being mindful. So just mindfulness, and you can apply that to anything in your life. Being mindful of your body position, your breath, your family, how you spend your time. I mean, there's so many things about being mindful and present in each moment as opposed to being elsewhere mentally.
It's really hard.
It is very hard.
Your mind is racing all the time.
Yes, the monkey mind, we call it. The principle, the monkey mind. It's always going somewhere else.
Well, and that's part of what's so dangerous and what's happened with young kids being left in cars often. It's like a change in maybe the mom had to take the baby to daycare instead of the dad, but she had to, I remember the story so well, she had to grab donuts on the way because they were having a party at the office. So she went and grabbed the donuts, got in the car, and immediately her mind went back into driving to the office like she does every single day.
Yep.
And
60% of our life is habit. It's just we go on autopilot and we don't stop and think, what am I really doing with myself right now? What am I really thinking about right now?
It's like on a weekend, any mom or any parent can test themselves who's driving their kids to a school on a daily basis. Get in the car and try to go somewhere and see where you end up at the school.
Yeah.
How did that even happen?
Yep. I always tell the story of imagine a giraffe walks up to you. Like you're just sitting there like, it's like, whoa, there's a giraffe in front of me, right? So it's just that waking up. Like, what am I doing? You know, when you find yourself mind wandering, you think, whoa, there's a giraffe right there. Well, not really, but, mentally. And just bring yourself back to the present and thinking, what am I really doing with myself?
Right. Well, I love the way that you said about just being cognizant and aware of how you're sitting as a starting point. Your body, how you're breathing, your shoulders, which is a huge one. Yeah, are you breathing? Why are your lips blue?
I ask that question a lot. Are you taking breathing right now, or are you holding your breath?
I've done that before where all of a sudden I'll take a huge breath and I was like, thank you, body.
I do it too. I mean, everyone does. And sometimes I think, well, I am a yoga teacher. I should know that.
Yes,
but I think it's that re-mindfulness, and just constantly coming back to being present instead of the mind wanders, and using exercises to take things out of your brain that take you out of the present, making lists and things like that. So you have it somewhere that you can be present in the moment you're in.
Yeah. One of the big eye-opening thing for me was I was going to try one of those salt float.
Yes, the floating.
Things.
I did that.
One time, and it was for an editorial thing. They wanted the editor to come and make experience. I'm acting like my life is so horrible right now, but I cried all the way there because I didn't have time for it. I didn't have time to quiet my brain down and float naked in salt water.
Did you enjoy it when you got there?
So I did. Actually, you don't have a choice because I think when you're stuck in a space like that, because it's about an hour.
Yeah.
And I fought it for a little while, and then I just started the lights.
Did you fall asleep?
I did.
I did too.
The only reason why I knew I fell asleep is because apparently I snored and it echoed in the little egg thing.
I knew I fell asleep.
I was like startled.
I hit the side of it, bong, and I was like, oh, I'm awake.
Yeah, but that was a real eye-opener for me. Like, why am I having a meltdown to go to a place to try to relax?
Right.
And there's some resistance there for me about relaxing.
Well, for everyone, because our lives are so full. I told you about my friend who said we're not busy. Our schedules are full. I like that.
Yeah.
But it is hard to kind of fit it in, which is such a weird thing to say. But the more that you can take the time, even 5 minutes or 10 minutes to take the time to calm, then you're so much more present and relaxed to accomplish instead of having that high stress level all the time.
Yeah. I ended up getting a little app on my phone for not meditating, but what's the other one where they put you under?
Headspace? Oh,
hypnosis.
Yeah,
like a hypnosis type of app. And I like to challenge it like,
good luck with me.
Yeah, show you. I have flashbacks from my younger years, and they had the hypnosis people on the stage, and they had people doing some really awful things on their chairs, and so I was like, yeah, that's not real. How's that person doing that? So, but that really helped me get into this relaxation space. I don't know if I was ever hypnotized or what it was, but it was more about being able to tap into the other layers of yourself instead of the one that's always trying to run the show.
Right, because then you neglect, you neglect those other things that are maybe really going on with you, or you really need to address because the day-to-day is so full, right? Not busy,
it's full. Well, I love the busy, switching from a thought of being busy to being full, because when you're busy, often that does also become an excuse for us, because they say, these lovely quotes, that if someone's too busy for you. It's just that they're choosing not to make space in their life for you.
Right. They were all given the same amount of time. And I have to
Yes.
give credence, I have to give credit to my friend Erin Haskell-Gord, who's the one that said that, because I thought that was such a good thing, because she said, if I say I'm busy, that means I don't have time for you. And I don't want to say that, right?
Right.
It's better to
Truly.
say my schedule is full, but here I am with you now.
Yeah.
Which is such a great and connecting thing. We're talking about connecting
Yes.
relationship, because it makes everyone feel important and
absolutely.
included.
Well, and they say people don't remember, what they remember about you is how you made them feel.
Oh, that's
And
such a great thing. It's
I
true.
love that, and I've tried to. When we have magazine release parties, and sometimes it feels so chaotic for me because I'm talking to so many people at the time. But I remember when people will say, they'll talk about stars, or they'll talk about very important, famous, popular people, and they say the most amazing thing is they spoke to them as though they were the only person in the room. So I've always kept that in my mind when I'm speaking to someone, even though it's an event and so many things are going on, and someone I can see in my peripheral is waiting to talk to me. I make sure I don't discount the time I'm having with that person,
Right.
and look around, because then you're darting and you're never really fully present.
Yep.
And
To being present.
Yes,
I do
being
find
present.
that with you, by the way. I feel like I always get a real connection with you. So thank you.
Well, that's been from day one. But we met in a very cool way
Yes.
for the Listen to Your Mother. We were part of the cast a few years ago. I can't remember.
It was
how
one
many,
of the best experiences of my life, and that is how we connected. And I feel like no matter what things we're doing in our lives, that for me, that's how I always remember you.
Yes.
Is, bearing your soul like that to people is it's a important experience to have together.
And when I love what you said in your Women in Business Leadership Awards part, one of the biggest, most impressionable moments or proudest moments for you was being part of that cast.
It was.
And also sharing something so tender and deep within your spirit and soul on a stage in front of like 700 people on Mother's Day.
Yeah, it was profound, and it was such a sensitive topic. And I'm not a writer. I'm not someone that does things on the stage. It was literally came out because my friend Carrie said, "Oh, you're having issues with your mom. You should write something for this." And I ended up being in the show, and it was really. It stays with me. If you can do that, you can do anything, I feel like.
And that's what is the most impressionable about what you wrote, was that you remember that moment every single time.
Yes.
You have a daunting task, or you're going to stand up in front of someone, because if you could have done it then,
Yes.
you certainly can do it at any time. So often we really need to just step up one time with mass bravery, and that carries us through.
For sure. I always used to joke and say, if you can stand in front of 30 people in yoga pants and bend over, then you can do anything. But then the embarrassment's gone.
Yeah.
But really, in a deep way, being able to stand in front of that many people and share something personal, it really stays with you.
Yeah. Okay, we have to cut off soon, but we have to. You found love in Spokane.
I found love in Spokane online dating.
On dating, Jack.
I did.
What was your platform of choice for online dating?
We went bargain basement, plenty of fish.
Okay. I have friends that call it plenty of other names, but not plenty of fish.
Yes, I tried Match, didn't work, and I thought, I'll just be single. And
Yes.
then I went online. I said, well, I'm just going to try again. And there he was. So we chatted. We met at Ginger Sushi, and within a few weeks we went to Mexico together. Within 6 months we moved in, and that was it. So.
And that was kind of right around the time when it was Listen to Your Mother.
Yeah, he came to the show. That was around that same time. And actually Tuesday will be our 5 years of meeting. So we're having our anniversary.
Oh, I love that. One thing that I love so much, I love love. I'm just such a fan of it. And I love it when you see it glow. And it was glowing at Listen to Your Mother. That was one thing I remember, like, this woman is so in love. It's just such a beautiful thing. But every time I've seen you and Jack, and every other way since then has been the same thing. So it can.
Yeah, and I think out of that love, that infatuation, that beginning, real partnership grew. And I think that's what sustains that feeling of love is that there is someone in the world that truly cares about you and will always feel that way. So it's pretty special.
I remember meeting you guys at the airport. We were going in similar directions or something, but it was his sister
had passed away.
And it was just a solemn, hard time. And just to see you both there, so loving to one another still. Because it is truly the partnership, and through anything, thick and thin, highs and lows.
It's amazing to find. And then, I thought that would happen to me, and it did. So I'm very grateful.
I'm grateful for you
lucky.
too. And it gives hope to a lot of other people too who hear your story and see it playing out. So.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, thank you for being here today and all the things you do. You're such a bright light in our community.
Oh, thank you.
You really are. And I'm so grateful I get to know you.
I'm grateful to spend time with you anytime.
I know, anytime.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for tuning into She Says, and we will see you next time.
She Says is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksOnline.com, which is solely responsible for its content.